There are things I stopped doing not because I suddenly healed or become confident overnight, but because I learned self respect. And when you have self respect, it changes what you tolerate. So if you're in a season right now where you're choosing yourself more, this may resonate. I no longer over explain myself. I don't write paragraphs trying to justify my feelings. I don't explain why something hurt me 5 different ways. The right people do not need convincing, and over explaining was never about clarity. It was wanting to be understood by people who weren't listening. I no longer chase clarity from people who give me mixed signals. So if someone wanted to show up clearly, they would. I stopped chasing conversations, closure, or reassurance. Confusion is information. So if somebody is giving you mixed signals, that's them telling you something, and that is something that I don't entertain anymore. So if there's confusion, then that says enough for me about this relationship. I no longer say yes when my body says no. It's very important to follow your intuition. There are so many things that my intuition told me not to. I said something was wrong and I didn't listen to it. But obviously, that's good too, because then, I learned a lesson. Because anything that ever happens to me, I always learn from or try to learn from and see where I could do better or, not be in that situation. But I used to override my intuition to keep the peace. So I would ignore what my body was telling me so that I can make others happy and to not have conflict and chaos. But now I listen when something feels heavy, draining, or off. Because, like, my body always knew before my mind did. And it's very important that you learn to trust your intuition. I no longer stay in conversations that drain me. So I don't argue to be understood anymore. I don't try to prove my worth. I don't stay where I feel small. I surround myself and with people and conversations that energize me. Because it's very important that you choose where you put your energy. And when you develop self respect for yourself, you have respect for your energy, your time, and you do not give it to things, people, situations that basically drain you. And I no longer ignore red flags because of potential. And this is not like just including like, it's like including friendships too, right? Like, you know, you can just tell when something's like, I don't know, this just doesn't feel right. So I don't ignore that anymore, and I stopped falling in love with someone based on who they could be because potential isn't reality. Consistency is. Like, how do they show up every day? Because you know what? Everybody has patterns and they'll show it to you right away. So if you are seeing red flags in somebody, that's a pattern. And like, you don't try to fix people, just let them be what they are. Um, and if you see red flags, like, protect your energy and stay away from red flags. I no longer feel guilty for choosing myself. Choosing myself doesn't mean I'm selfish, it means I'm honest about my capacity. So I'm always making sure that I have the needs that I need and I'm taken care of so that I can extend myself to others. Because if you're not taking care of yourself and what you need, then you're going to just be depleted and drained, and then you won't be able to help others or to be able to be yourself fully because you're feeling depleted. So it's very important that you choose yourself. It's not selfish. It's an act of self-love. And it's a beautiful way to respect yourself. And I no longer break promises to myself. And this is a big one when you're trying to build self-respect for yourself, is to be disciplined in what you say you're going to do. So if I'm going to go for a walk, I go for a walk. If I'm going to journal, I journal. If I'm going to read a book, I read a book. If I'm I'm going to write, I write a book. Because when you break promises with yourself, you're telling yourself that you're not important, that you're not worthy. And if you're breaking promises with yourself, you're going to break promises with others. You won't be able to show up that way. And not only that, if you're treating yourself that way, you're telling everybody else and the universe that this is how you should be treated, right? Because how you treat yourself is a reflection of how others will treat you. So it's important that when you say you're going to do something for you, that you do it. And it's just think about your relationship with yourself and how you want it to be, right? And in a healthy, if you're in a relationship with someone else and they continuously break their promises with you, you're not going to trust that person. It's the same thing with yourself. So don't break promises with yourself. Self-trust is built quietly. And self-respect isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's the small decisions you make when no one's watching. And once you respect yourself, your life starts to reflect it.